ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
One sec, I am coming. One sec. Sorry, I am all on that. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
ॐ सहना भवतु
Sahanam Bhunaktu.
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयम्
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्
अम्बध्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवते भवद्वेषिणीम्
अम्बध्वामनुसन्धधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
वेदैः साकपदक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यं सामगाः।
वेदैः एतैः
साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः
गायन्ति
गायन्त्ययमगाः
यमगाः
ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्त्य योगिनः
ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा
पश्यन्ति
योगिनः
पश्यन्ति योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुस्तुरासुरगणाः तस्मै नमः
विदुस्तुरासुरगणाः देवाय
देवाय
नमः।
Yesterday we have started teaching of Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna. We have seen two verses, 11th and 12th. First, I will chant and they will sing. Ashocyananvashocastvam pragyavadanshcha bhashase gatasunagatasungscha nanushocanti panditaha. We have seen, Bhagavan has said, Panditaha nanushocanti. One who is really Atmagyani, one who has a self-knowledge, it's called Panditaha. Bhagavan says, Atmagyani, one who has self-knowledge, they never grieve, na anushocanti. They never grieve for what? Gata asuna, agata suna. Gata suna means one who person is already left the body. Gata asuna, prana, breath. One whose breath has gone means one who is died. For that also Panditaha, they never grieve. At the same time, agata asuna, one who is still alive. For that, for those also Panditaha nanushocanti, they never grieve. And he says, Ashocya anvashocastvam. Tvam. Bhagavan says, hey Arjun, you anvashocastvaha. You are grieving for whom we are not to be grieved for. Because ashocyaha, shocyaha means which are deserved for grieving, and ashocyaha, the meaning is one who are not to be grieved. So Bhagavan says, you are grieving for to be not grieved for, and again you are speaking like a wise man. But really speaking, Panditaha, they never grieve. So indirectly Bhagavan has told to Arjuna, if you are grieving, then you are not Pandita. And still you think you are scholar. Not scholar, but you are Atmagyani, you have self-knowledge. That we have seen yesterday. Now, second also, in 12th verse, we have seen Natve vahanjatu nasam natvanne me janadhipaha nacheva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Bhagavan says in this sloka in double negative manner. We have seen yesterday, Bhagavan says, Aham jatum na asam iti na. The meaning is, it is not that I was not in past. It was not that you were in not past. And even it is not there, all janadipaha, means all kings were not in past. In sense, in past we all are there. We all were there. And in bhavishyamaha, in future, sarve na bhavishyamaha iti na. In future also, we won't be there. It is not like that, means we will be there. We were there, we will be there, and right now we all are here. And he says, Ataha, that's why Param, we all are Param. The meaning of Param is, our real nature is Param. And meaning, and once I have said, one Bhagavan has described our own nature is Nitya. The meaning of Nitya means eternal. So through this verse, Bhagavan says, we all are eternal. Body will go, but one who resides inside the body, this is our real nature, that will not go. It's called Nityaha, eternal. So by nature, we all are eternal. That we have seen also. Now we have entered in 13th verse. We have seen everything. And I have explained in Gita total 18th chapter, 1/8 chapter. All chapters are divided in 6, 6, 6. And this 6 in Sanskritam, it's called Shatakam. Shataks means a group of 6 chapters are called Shatakam. So 1 to 6, Prathama Shatakaha, first 6 group. Then 7 to 12 is Madhyama Shatakaha. And third one is 13 to 18th. So all topics from 1 to 6 is different. 7 to 12 topic is different. And even 13 to 18 topic is different. But what topic will be discussed from 1 to 6 that we have seen yesterday, more or less predominantly, Bhagavan will speak our own real nature. It's called Jiva Swarupam. Our real nature, Jiva Swarupam. Then Bhagavan will also talk about sadhana. People always use, they would like to do sadhana, to sit in front of deity and do something. It's called sadhana. So Bhagavan will discuss in first, and mostly sadhana is karma yoga, nothing else. But Bhagavan will discuss elaborately. And last one, Purusha Prayatnam, Prayatnaha. So our own effort. Anybody can put hand on our head and we become jnani. It is not like that. For self-knowledge, we have to do effort. It's called Atma Krupa. That also we have seen. And now in third. One thing I have asked, there is a 2 type of, there is a one is called Jivatma and one is called Atma. I think somebody has asked, I forgot to explain. What is the difference between Jivatma and Atma? Meaning of Atma is consciousness, nothing else. And really speaking, in Sanskritam, the meaning of Atma is Vyapnoti Sarvam, who is everywhere, is called Atma. So our real nature is this one, Atma. Then what is this Jivatma? So it says the meaning of Jivatma is when consciousness start thinking, I'm conscious, but my limitation is up to my body and my subtle body, means mind sense complex, BMS. This thinking, I am limited up to my body mind sense complex, that is called Jivatma. Until we are identify ourselves with body and gross body and subtle body, until we are Jivatma. And when we have self-knowledge, we are really speaking, body is given to me, but I am not body. Subtle body is given to me, but I am not subtle body. Then we become Atma. Right now also we are Atma only, but because of our ignorance, we think we are Jivatma. So traveling of Jivatma is possible, not Atma, because Atma is everywhere. They need not to travel. But traveling from one body to another body is traveling of Jivatma. Because of ignorance, it keep on traveling. But same Jivatma has Jnanam, I am everywhere. Then this traveling cease, no traveling more. So only this is a traveling without traveling. Gita is what I would like to share. This is a traveling without traveling. like to know oneself, I am not Jivatma, but I am Atma only. And by studying this all Gita, if we are totally prepared with our mind, then we can accept ourselves as Atma only. Even body is given, but I am not body. Subtle body is given, but I am not subtle body. When this is 100% sure, hasta malakvat, in say when we know, then we are Atma. And then this body will remain because it's because of prarabdha karma. But when this prarabdha karma will get over, then inside consciousness and outside consciousness, everything is same. There is no difference. Like a space in pot and space everywhere are same. When pot is broken, so there is no traveling. Really speaking, space and space become one only. Same way, when we have jnana, then this body will go. Atma becomes everywhere. This is the point of Krishna. So he says, why you are worrying? Because at real nature, we all are same. Because death is only for body, even gross body, not for subtle body. And now he is explaining more in this deha. So means in this body, what happens? Then he says in 13th, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaran yauvananjara tatha dehantaraf praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati. Bhagavan says, there are different stages in a person's life. I would like to say, from toddler, very newborn child, from newborn, that he or she becomes toddler. From that, he or she becomes little bit kaumaram, teenage. From teenage, he or she becomes young, totally young, 100% developed. From young to we becomes middle age. From middle age, we become old. And from old, then we have to die. There are stages. So this Bhagavan is explaining in this. So he says, Asmin dehe. So yatha, as though, Asmin dehe, in this body, dehinaha. The meaning of dehinaha, yesterday we saw, but still let me explain. The meaning of dehinaha means indweller inside the body. It's called dehi. Suppose I say dhani. Dhanam means wealth, and dhani. So what is the meaning of dhani? One who has a dhanam, it's called dhani. Same way, dehi. One who has a body, deha, is called dehi. So we never claim, I am dhanam. We never say. If we are dhani, so do we exclaim, I am wealth, I am money? We never say. Because when we say money is, I am a owner of money, in the sense I am not money. Same way, when we say I am dehi, the meaning is body is mine, but I am not deha, means not body. It's called dehinaha. So Bhagavan says, a person who is dwelling inside the body, he has gone through kaumaram, means is a teenage, let me say, where is really childhood, but I say is a teenage, yauvanam, it's called youth, young, jara, means old age, praptihi. A person who is remaining inside the body, he has gone through many stages like kaumaram, yauvanam, jara. And last what? Dehantara praptihi. And last he will get another body. Antara means another, deha means body. He will get another body. So person, one who is wise person, dhiraha tatrana muhyati. One who is definitely wise person, he never deluded inside. He never deluded because he knows this is only process of body. I am not body. So through this also, Bhagavan clearly says there is a two thing we have. It will come again, but I would like to say we are a mixture of two things. Suppose any person, anything, even any beings are a mixture of two things. One is called conscious. There is something, what we are telling is consciousness inside, and another is inert. And another, in Sanskrit we say Jada Chaitanya. So inert means Jada, and conscious means Chaitanya Tattva. So this inert Jada is keep on changing its nature. This is its nature. We keep on changing. What will change? So it will take this childhood, then youth and Jara, but consciousness, who is remain inside the body, is remain same. So change is at body level, not at conscious level. So Bhagavan says, one who knows I am consciousness, I am not inert body and mind sense complex, that person, na muhyati. He doesn't have any type of delusion. So who am I? That's why he never is, here it is written never grief, but I say he never gets sore because he knows this is only process. That yesterday we have seen up to here. So we, from Shishu to Balyaha, from Bala to teenage, from teenage to Yuva means young, young to middle, Vriddha. These all are changes at body level, not at consciousness level. So, Asmin Dehe, in this body, Dehinaha, indweller of the body. You know, one dhan I say, but whenever, yesterday also I explained, if we understand this much also, so there are many problems of in our life may go. When we say Dehi, I am not Deha, but I am Dehi, the meaning is I am different from Deha. So what is problems of Deha is not my problem. So there is a one word Deha, and another word is Dehi. Deha means body and Dehi means indweller of body. When we say I am living in my house, so we never claim I am house. Same way we are indwelling in our this body, but here we are claiming I am 60 kg, I am 65, I am 50, whatever. So this confusion is called Ajnana. And Krishna tried to clarify to Arjuna what is our real nature. If we are Dehi, then we are not Deha. Even Deha is also two types. One is subtle, one is gross. If gross body, interesting thing is only lost is changing, we are Deha. Subtle body will always travel with us only, with consciousness. So change it. This vastram is only this Deha. Clothes we are changing is only Deha. There is even not subtle body. Subtle body always travel with us. So whenever this universe starts, from there only, we have only one subtle body. So that's why whatever cleansing, whatever we say, Antakaran Shuddhi is necessary, not for body, only for our mind. So it's a process. So is that Bhagavan has says, Kaumaram, Yauvanam, Jara Prapti. We are, this body is getting different type of stages like childhood, youth and old age. And Shankaracharya has written in his Bhashyam, during this changing from this stage to this stage, we never invite people for mourning, arbitrary. We never. Okay. Now our son or our daughter has expired her teenage. Now he or she, they are entered in young age. Please come, because always there is a death of one stage and then birth of another stage. But during this, we never invite any people. But when we are invited at last. But this is also need not to invite. We have to understand this is also only change from one body to another body. That's why Bhagavan says, Tatha dehantara praptihi. Last, what will happen? Same way that jiva gets another body. Vruddhavastha to dehantar prapti means this people or one who is living inside the body, he or she never dies, they will get another fresh body. That's why Bhagavan says, Dhiraha tatra na muhyati. A wise person doesn't come to grief. He never grieves because he knows, he or she knows, there is no death of anyone. There is only changing of clothes. One is the older clothes we have changed, and we have now new, fresh clothes. That's what we have seen. And that I have written only what is the difference between Atma and Jivatma. We have to be careful, but in obituary, that always write, let them soul. But which soul we are talking about? Soul, one who's Atma or Jivatma. Because poor people, they don't know what is the meaning of Atma and Jivatma. Even local language also, they hear Gujarati, Hindi, their own language, they always write Atma. They should write Jivatma, but they don't know. So in this 13th verse, Bhagavan has explained what is our real nature, and this is only changing. Nityaha, and in the 13 he is saying traveling is always from one body to another body, there is no death. But after these 2 verses, Bhagavan would like to explain who is, deserve to assimilate this self-knowledge. Like I used to say, if somebody would like to graduate, so they have to pass whatever standard in different country, I don't know, but they have to clear some exam, then they get in graduate. Same way, if you would like to know what is self-knowledge, what is my real nature, so Shastra or scriptures also expect from us something qualification, not from scholar level, but from our mind level. What should be our disposition of mind? That mind only can get self-knowledge. So in 14th and 15th verse, Bhagavan has explained what should be the disposition of our mind. Very nice verse, this one. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapaino nityaha tanti tikshasva bharata. Bhagavan says, Kaunteya matra sparshaha shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agam apayinaha anityaha bharata tantitikshva. So we will say what is matra, what is sparsha, all are technical terminology in Shastra. So what are the matra? The meaning of Kaunteya is the son of Kunti. So I didn't write, but son of Kunti is called Kaunteya. So Bhagavan says to Arjuna, first one is, what is matra? The meaning of matra is, with help of this, we can understand the sense object. So the matra is called sense organs. Shankaracharya has given definition, abhihi miyante shabdadayah iti. Abhihi, with the help of this third case, with the help of this miyante, we can understand what shabdadayah means, all sense object. From how can we understand the taste, the sight? So it's called indriyan. So matraha is called indriyani, sense organs. Then What is sparshaha? That's why I have written matraha is equal to sense organs. Then what is sparshaha? The meaning of sparshaha, really speaking, sprushyante. When our eyes see something, suppose our eyes see something, I say this is a highlighter, then our eyes touches, as though touches this highlighter. Same way, our ear, when they grasp some words, it's called sparsha. Touch is not literal touch, but is just grasping. It's called sparsha. So sense organs, sprushante iti sparsha. So sparsha means sense object, and matraha is sense organs. So always there is a connection between matra and sparsha. Sense organs always go outside and pick up something. They pick up means they see something and they give information to our mind. It's called connect and give information. It's called sparshaha. If somebody we have smell good, and then we say it is the smell of jalebi. So it's sparshaha. Our nose touches to jalebi. Same way, if somebody is chanting very well, Rudram, our ear touches the words and give information to mind. So sparshaha is sense object and matraha is sense organs. Always what they say, they connect each other. In matra sparshaha, what is that? Matra sparshastu kaunteya. And what? When they connect each other, they give three things. Sitoshna dukkhadaha agam apayinaha anityaha. So what they will give, matra sparshaha, so that I have written shita ushnadaha sukha dukkhadaha. When they contact each other, daha means dadati, they give. What they give? Shita ushna, they give different type of experience. If winter is there, we say it is very cold, shita daha. If here summer is very powerful, then we say ushnadaha. Different type means they give heat, cold, pair of opposite. When it is written shita ushna, sukha dukkha, all are pair of opposite. In life, we are getting pair of opposite. So they say sukha dukkha. When they contact each other, they can give pleasure, they can give also pain also. So matra sparshaha can give shita ushnadaha, they can give pleasure and pain. Bhagavan has mentioned only two, but we can write also respect and hatred. They can give mana apamanaha. Mana, respect. Apamanaha, hatred. They can give also sanyogaha, viyogaha. This matra sparshaha, sanyogaha. They live together for a long time, and time will come. Again, they have to separate. So all matra sparshaha, they give this all everything. What are they called? Agam apayinaha. They will come. Agamaha means they will come. Apayinaha, they will go. They never remain permanent. All experience of sense organs and sense object, they always, first we smell jalebi, agamaha. We eat over, apayinaha. So anything, matra sparsaha, context, always, they come and go. That's why Bhagavan says, anityaha. They all experience from sense organ and sense organs, they all are not permanent, anitya. So if anityaha, then why should we worry? Then Bhagavan says, I have given, one example. Why Bhagavan is explaining. Somewhere I have read one verse. I don't know the whole script, but it is the onion. In Sanskritam, it's called palandu. The meaning of palandu means onion. It is a shloka is like that. One person has taken that onion, then they apply camphor powder all over the onion. Then they have given bath to onion with saffron and chandanam. Good fragrance, They have given bath. And after bath, they apply this, what you call, itra, but it is what you call now. You just apply on your body. I forgot. She must be knowing. What you call, Medha? What is the name? You apply all over the body. Deodorant, but not deodorant, itram. No.
Perfume.
Huh?
Perfume.
Deodorant. But
Okay.
Really speaking, it is not perfume, but it is a oily. It's a very highly fragrant. We apply to palando, means onion, but does onion will change its smell? After giving all that, onion remain onion. The smell, somebody may like also, but we don't like. I don't like. So after this all process, palandu's nature remain palandu only. So why this is explained here? Same way, the context of sense organ and sense object, they give different type of experience, but if you try to change, it never change, because they are their nature only. If somebody is very happy to see jalebi, same jalebi can give unhappiness, pain to one person who's diabetic. So whatever their svabhava won't change. So our body's nature, if diabetic, then jalebi can give pain. So after 5 years also, that jalebi will give pain only. So we have to accept whatever nature of all sense object, they never go. They won't change. So what we have to do, Tam titikshasva bharata. Bhagavan says, you endure them. If outside it is cold, don't complain, endure. If outside it is summer, very hot, don't complain, endure. If somebody is insulting you, try to settle. If you are not if it's not possible, then endure, go out, but don't lose your temperature. It is called titiksha, what we have seen in Tattva Bodha, endure them. This is called, we are preparing our mind to understand that self-knowledge. That's why Bhagavan says, and what I have told, we are a mixture of Atma and Anatma, means we are mixture of Jad and Chetan. We are a mixture of consciousness and inert. That inert body, it will go its own way, because its own svabhava. We try to stop our old age, we can't. We will get our old age. This is not in our hand. So what we have to do? Endure. So whatever happens by connectivity with the sense organ and sense object, whatever they endure. Don't try to change them, because this is their nature. Endure them. Tan titikshasva. Bhagavan says, you change. And one thing also, Bhagavan says, agama and apayinaha. Whatever we have experienced, they never remain permanent. They will come and they will go. That's why it is not constant. If we have some pain in our life, it won't remain permanent. Their pain will go. If we have some pleasures, happiness, that happiness also comes from outside. It never remain permanent. That happiness will also go. So we have to keep our mind ready. In our life, never remain everything permanent. Everything will come and everything will go. This preparation is called titiksha, to keep our mind ready. In Sanskritam, they say sahan shakti, but I used to say titiksha is not a simple endure, but to prepare our mind for such situation is called titiksha. And I have mentioned there is a one person, is a king. He asked his minister, can you give me some mantra, some line which can be helpful for every day? In any situation, this line can be helpful. Then that minister has given only one line and he says, you please keep in your ring, just write it out. And that line was, this will also go. Whatever will come, this will go. Then that king has saved this line and he was a king. So somebody has attacked on his kingdom and he defeat and he has to go in forest, that king. Then he was very depressed. At that time again he read this sentence, this will also go. So this, he was in forest, that situation can also go. Again, what he has done, he has prepared army and again he has attacked his own country and again he has victory and again he became a king. So again he has read, this will also go. So in our life, nothing will be permanent, everything will go. That's why tan titiksha, nothing will in our hand. So why should we worry? Only we have to keep our mind ready. If somebody is giving too much praising, be careful. Because it never remains same. So we can say, be careful, this can be go. So any situation, everything will go. And whenever we blame word, really speaking, the word is not good. Even word is not bad. Word is word. Universe means earth. Word is word. But depends on how we take it in our inside. This is problem for us. That's why tan titikshasva, whatever come and whatever go, be a witness. Don't take everything inside and be serious. It's called titiksha. Bhagavan said tan titiksha, because this type of disposition of mind will helpful to assimilate this knowledge. That's why Bhagavan has given, it will come repeatedly. This, it's called abhyasa. Once I have told, no, they have to cover 6 topics. Abhyasa means repetition. This will, sitoshna will come in different manner, but it will keep on coming. Because in our life, problem is not with what we don't have, but problem in our life is that person has told me such, this, because of this person I am like this. This thinking is problem for us. So if you are ready to accept everybody as they are, then no problem. So what is titiksha? So I have written at last in this. No one will change according to our wish. In life, nobody will change. We try to change. Even our own children, they never change according to our wish. And what second is, accept everyone as they are without changing them. If we can accept, then it's called titiksha. So Bhagavan says, this is called titiksha. Please prepare your mind. And again, what I have told, we are a mixture of 2 things. One is Atma and one is Anatma. Atma never changes nature, while Anatma means inert, Jada, never change, means it keep on, here not, but here they keep on changing. From Yuva to Jara, Jara to death, it keep on changing. But what is our duty? With whom we have to identify? We have to identify ourselves with inert, or we have to just know who we are. So it's, our nature is Atma, our nature is not Anatma. And again, in this, after this shloka also, Bhagavan has explained one more thing. Who is deserved for liberation? A person who is deserved for liberation, so amritatvaya kalpati. So Bhagavan has given some type of qualification of person. When a person who has such quality, that person is deserve for Amrutatvaya, liberation. Yam hi navyathayantyete purusham purusharshapha samadukha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. Purusharshaba. The meaning of Purusharshaba, you know, Rushabha. There is a one word in Sanskritam, is called bull, ox. And Bhagavan has addressed Arjuna as a Purusharshaba. Rushabha eva Rushabha to Arjuna. Why? There is a cow herd is going. There are hundreds of cows are going. There are only few bull are there, but they always stand out because of their height, because of their hump. We can immediately say this is not cow, but this is a bull. Same if there are many people are going, but if Arjuna among these people, he can stands out. People can identify. This is not somebody else, but this is Arjuna. So Arjuna was recognized as among all people, like he is hero at that time of people. That's why it's called Purusharshaba. One Rushabha eva Rushabha, who stands out among the people. That's, that let me explain one thing. There is a one word is using in people are doing massage on their body, so they can look smart, they look young, they are doing massage. Same way, there are people who are doing upasana. They are doing the sadhana. So I forgot that noun. It's called a different type of shine on that person's face. Pujya Swamiji used to say, if person is doing Gayatri every day, 10 malas means thousands name. If they are doing japa of Gayatri, his face totally different. We can identify this person is doing something. It's called Brahma. I forgot that. Brahma is something.
Brahma Tejas, Swamiji.
Huh?
Brahma Tejas.
Yeah, Brahma Tejas. Not Brahma Tejas, but it starts from Brahma. But Tejas means some brilliance. Brahma Tejas,
Yeah.
let me do, but I will tell you.
It's like doing facial.
And it's like a fashion. But that person, even Pujya Swamiji used to say, even in his family, then in generation, if grandfather has done Anushtana of Gayatri, even their grandson face is totally different. We can identify that person in his generation. Somebody has doing tapas. Same way, Purusharshava, one who stands out from all people, is Purusharshava. Rushabha eva Rushabha. So Arjuna's, this is addressing of Arjuna, Purusharshava, and Bhagavan says, Ete, he is mentioned, Ete means dual. Who is Ete? Sukham Dukkham, Bhagavan says, Ete means two things, pair of opposite. Bhagavan has taken Sukham Dukkham. Ete na vyathayanti, one who are not affected by this, that person, Purusham samasukham dukkham dhiram na vyathayanti. If in person's life, sometime dukkha comes, sometime sukha comes, means happiness, unhappiness come, but that person is not affected by this sukha and dukkha, that person amrutatvaya kalpate. He is a fit for amrut, means he is a fit for what? Liberation. Amrutatvaya kalpate. So if somebody says, I won't like to gain self-knowledge, I would like to know who am I, then what is the condition? That person should be samam sukham dukkham, one who is a balanced. Sama means balance in pleasure, same way in pain also. Because This is not in our head. So one who is remain balanced, that person, saha eva amrutatva kalpate. So people ask, how can we keep our mind balanced in some situation which are very challenging? But once I have explained, I don't know, but ECG, doctor used to take ECG. The meaning of ECG is electrocardiogram. They take ECG of heart. Then most of ECG comes like that. One who is doctor, they know. When ECG comes like that, then doctor says, now he is alive, heart is working. But if line comes like that, then what is doctor says? Now person is no more. Same way, in our life, sometime up, sometime down. Sometime up, sometime again down. Keep on coming, then it's called life. Otherwise, if straight, so what is the meaning of life? No happiness, no pleasure, no pain. There is no meaning of life. So when it will come ups and downs, then only life. And this up and downs means here pleasure, here pain. Here pleasure, sometime pain. Even I know Puja Swamiji used to tell, there is a one director has made up cinema, a movie. In movie, what has, there is a two character. One is hero, actor, and one is actress. Actor is also very nice person. He is highly qualified. Everything, whatever quality one should be, we are expected from a man. All quality with all he has. And he married with one girl. That girl also, she is very nice, highly educated. Whatever quality we expect from girl, she has. They got married. After marriage, they have son. That son also is very good, very nice. Nobody will come to see this movie. But Puja Swamiji says, if that one boy is very rich, girl is very poor, then some villain comes, some masala comes, then people would like to go to see cinema. Because in movie, there is nothing, then who will go? Same way in life, is nothing is happened, simply is gone, then we cannot enjoy the life. Life, if we have sukham dukham, then only we can enjoy. So if we can accept, life will be with all pleasure and pain. Life always with respect and hatred. Life always with sayogaha. We can live together, viyogaha. Even separation also there. In all situations, one who can keep our mind balanced, that person only is called what? Amrutatvaya kalpate. So he says, Amrutatvaya kalpate means he fit for liberation. And another, let me explain, another Purusha. The meaning of Purusha is not male, gender. Purusha means our body has 9 gates, Navadvare Pure Dehi. So our body considered as a Pura, means a city. One who is dwelling inside the city is called Purusha. Pura, even in our Gujarati, there is a Pura means still is considered as a village or city. In Sanskritam also Pura is city. And Ush, Vasati, one who lives inside the city is called Purusha. So whatever, maybe male, maybe female. So whenever in scripture Purusha word comes, the meaning of Purusha is a person, not a male, not a female, but Pure Vasati, one who dwells inside the city called this body. And this body has 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils. So multiply by 6, 7 our mouths. 1 is our for urine, and one is for stool. Total 9 is a door. It's called Pura. And one who's dwell. There is a one meaning of Purushaha, and second meaning of Purushaha is when we are using for consciousness, then the etymology is different. Purayati Sarvam. One who fills everything with consciousness. It's called Purusha. We have to check the context. Purusha Suktam we have. Then in Purusha Suktam, this is not this Purushaha, but this Purushaha Purayati Sarvam, who encompass everything with consciousness. So Purayati Sarvam. Puraha is a city. Why I have taken, I think, it is coming here, no? Purusham. So here Purusham means a person, not a Purayati Sarvam. That person is what? So is called Somrutatvaya Kalpate. He or she is fit for liberation, is fit for moksha. After telling this, now Bhagavan will tell the best shloka. What I have said, key verses. I forgot to tell you, Raviji, but the key verses, na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayorapi drashtantaha, svanayo tattvadarshibhi. So meaning, na sato vidyate bhava, we will see, but it is a key verse, means, key means, you know, key verse means one which is, there is some lock is there, without key we cannot unlock that lock. Same way, Veda Vyasa has prepared many verses inside the Gita, it considered as a key verse. And why key verse? Without unlock, without unlocking each and every word, we cannot understand the meaning, the interpretation of that verse. It's called key verse. And why Bhagavan has prepared such, Veda Vyasa has prepared such key verse. Yesterday I have told in, I think, grammar class, not in Sanskritam. Everybody knows Mahabharata is written by Veda Vyasa, and Gita comes under Mahabharata only. So Veda Vyasa in Mahabharata, you know total how many? 1 million shloka. Total number of verses in Mahabharata is this much. Is the biggest epic. When Veda Vyasa has decided, then to whom he can ask for dictation. So he has asked Ganapati, Ganesha, can you help me? What I say, you have to just write it out. So Ganesha says, all right, I will write for you. Because at that time, no computer, nothing was there. Somebody help Veda Vyasa needs. Then Ganesha has put one condition to our Veda Vyasa ji. He says, if you say I have to write, but without stopping, I will keep on writing. There is a no break. Veda Vyasa says, okay. But same time, Veda Vyasa also put one condition in front of Ganesha. Ganesha ji, he says, you have to write everything without break, but without understand also, please don't write each and every shloka. With understanding only you have to write. Ganesha has also accepted his condition. So sometime when Veda Vyasa would like for fresh up, sometime he may be hungry, sometime they would like to for bathroom, anything. So what he used to give some tricky verse. So that verse Ganesha has to understand, otherwise he cannot understand. Meantime, again Veda Vyasa comes from whatever he would like to do and he can start writing. So this type of verses is called key verse. So to unlock that was needs some understanding. Other it is not that much difficult, but still it needs some explanation more. So Bhashyam in Shankaracharya has written Nasato Vidya Bhavaha. I think minimum 4 pages. He has written. This will come Nasato Vidyate Bhava.
They're called Guttu verses, right? Guttu.
Guttu, maybe in Tamil, I don't know. What is Guttu?
No, 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 they say there is a special, these verses themselves are covered in Mahabharata, are called Guttu verses because they're so complicated, as you said, and it takes time to understand.
That's only. But we will see.
Yeah, yeah. Puji Swamiji once told that wording.
Yeah, what?
No, that Guttu, Puji Swamiji once told, these are called Guttu verses.
Guttu. So Guttu, Guttu.
I think so. I don't know the exact Sanskrit, Swamiji. I'll get back to you. Dr. Swaminathan told me. I'll find out.
We used to say it's a kivas.
Yeah.
So any question regarding this?
Swamini, it's amazing. It's amazing because it's the key to liberation. It's do everything with all your being, all your power, all your knowledge, but without importance. So it's a constant two opposite force
conflict, yeah.
And be like the Krishna between the two armies in the middle, not in each side. It's really remarkable, and thank you for the class.
And you know, Bhagavan Krishna will also explain how we can keep our mind balanced in such situation. It will come also. He will explain. In this center only, but later he will explain. So when two opposite will come, we have to keep our mind balanced. There is also, he will explain how can we keep our mind balanced.
And Swaminiji, that words, Sita Ushna Sukha Dukeshu, Bhagavan is explaining you will get discomforts at the physical level, at the mental level, and at the intellect level, and that's you should balance all of them.
It says there is a 4 type of opposites. At body level, this Janma Mrityu means death, and then this prana level, thirst and hunger. At mind level, pleasure and pain. At intellect level, mana apamana.
I think most people can handle the first 3. The last one is where we fail.
No, most difficult is from mind.
Okay.
Because our mind is very tricky. From intellect, we can also explain our intellect, but mind, very difficult to tackle our mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think you explained in the 1 or 2 classes before very beautifully, Swamiji, it stuck with me, that people deal with each other on an intellect level, but can only deal with everyone. They think in their mind intellectually, but they can deal with others only on an emotional level, and that's where the problem.
We are keep on listening, no? This Vedanta, this Gita, we are keep on listening. So our intellect already is accept what is given in scriptures. So we are everything is given in scripture. We know at intellect level. But still we have problem at Vyavahara when transaction comes. So this transaction, more or less, it is always overpowered by mind.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult to tackle mind. Intellect, if somebody insults us, is okay. But somebody gives pain, even from childhood, we never forget.
When you have concepts but you don't have the experience, and then you have the experience and liberate the concepts, then you understand something deeper. And today is about the body is not important because it's a really important thing to understand to realize. Thank you for that.
Will we do Purna Bharat?
Yes, Swami.
Om
Amidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate
Shanti Shanti
Shanti Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swaminiji.
Thank you so much.